Dexter Morgan, who was shot by his son Harrison in the New Blood finale, may be dealing with the fallout from his survival in Resurrection Episode 3. Dexter, who is now living in New York City as a rideshare driver under a different identity, may have to face his past as the Bay Harbor butcher in a tense, emotionally charged confrontation in the episode. As suggested by an ex-post detailing a funny flashback scene in which Sergeant James Doakes refers to Dexter as this would include a flashback-heavy scene with an appearance by a well-known character. In contrast to Dexter's present battle to remain concealed, this scene can serve as a darkly humorous reminder of his former Miami life. The episode may also go more into Harrison's, Jack Alcott, personal, dark passenger. Resurrection might feature Harrison pursuing Dexter because he suspects his father's survival, building on New Blood Episode 3, Smoke Signals, in which Harrison displayed violent tendencies by throat-punching a bully and responding to violent artwork. Dexter finding evidence of Harrison's violent tendencies or his kill room might be a crucial scene. This revelation might make Dexter reevaluate whether he should mentor Harrison, as he did with Zach in Dexter Season 8, or shield him from turning into a murderer, reiterating the conflict between father and son in New Blood. In order to provide another level of external threat, the episode may also introduce a new opponent, perhaps a cold-blooded buddy, who Dexter meets in his new urban playground. Dexter may have been pursuing a serial murderer when he discovers they are linked to Harrison's activities, which presents a moral conundrum. Should he kill again or concentrate on protecting his son? New York City, where Dexter works as a rideshare driver and navigates its chaotic streets, might serve as a darkly humorous backdrop. For example, Dexter's annoyance with parking signs or bad car ratings may ground the tension in Resurrection's lighter, self-aware tone. With The Dark Passenger, a serial killer whose true name is Robert Schmidt and whom Dexter calls the imposter, he runs the risk of exposing himself. Schmidt is shocked and perplexed when Dexter reveals his face to him and prevents him from climbing into the back seat of a rideshare vehicle. Don't get caught has always been Harry's code's most important rule. Instead of stopping murderers from killing, as he did in Resurrection Part 2, he saves lives by killing them. Due to Dexter's early intervention, the imposter has seen his face and can start to doubt Dexter in subsequent Resurrection episodes. In the past, Dexter has never made the extra effort to save an innocent bystander. He's never been a vigilante murderer like this. At the end of New Blood, he really started to go the other way, killing Sergeant Logan, a wholly innocent police officer, in order to get out of a jail cell. Even though Dexter is a sociopath, his love for Harrison and his renewed sense of duty as a father are making him more sentimental. After making friends with Blessing Kamara, he stopped the imposter from killing an car driver. The original Dexter would have waited and allowed the rideshare driver to perish in order to set up the imposter's eventual murder. The first new kill we witness after New Blood and Resurrection is startlingly carried out by Harrison, despite the fact that it would seem to be Dexter himself. Harrison wasn't a murderer before the conclusion of New Blood, and he wasn't one at the beginning of Resurrection either because his father lived. Harrison steps in after Ryan Foster, a guest, is shown to be a sexual predator in the first episode of Dexter, Resurrection. Shauna, a hotel visitor, would have been sexually assaulted if he hadn't intervened during the altercation. Harrison didn't know Shauna personally and had only met her that day. Unlike most of Dexter's kills, which are premeditated, he killed Ryan after a fight broke out in his hotel room. Nevertheless, given the situation, it was a crime of passion that haunts Harrison far more than Dexter's murders ever did. A few days after arriving in New York City, Dexter is captivated by a serial killer who murders rideshare drivers. Using a reflective hoodie to conceal his identity, the murderer, who the media labels the Dark Passenger, but whom he names the Imposter, uses metal wire to cut off the heads of his victims. It is likely that Dexter would attempt to remove the imposter in Dexter, Resurrection Episode 3 because the imposter perfectly fits Harry's code and Dexter is personally irritated that he took his name. Nevertheless, Uma Thurman's Charlie extends an invitation to the imposter, which may serve as Dexter's connection to the covert murderers organization depicted in the teaser. Resurrection, which picks up 10 weeks after New Blood left off, deftly avoids overdoing its nostalgic themes in its first 2 episodes. Dexter is motivated to rush to New York City to save Harrison from a well-publicized and gory situation after his near-death experience and spectral visits from Trinity, Prado, Doakes, and his fatherly mentor, Harry Morgan, James Remar. Dexter feels comfortable with this narrative development, especially because Batista is after him. Charlie, one of the many amazing new cast members in Resurrection, is introduced quickly alongside Uma Thurman's fierce character. Any series would benefit greatly from having an actress of her caliber in a supporting role. Episodes 1 and 2 of Resurrection have a fantastic soundtrack, just like the Dexter prequel series Original Sin, which also features Daniel Licht's iconic instrumentals from the original series. It's really amazing how well Resurrection strikes a balance between its new characters, subplots, and setting while retaining its cherished old components. Harrison adopts a vigilante persona following his first kill in the New Blood finale, murdering a sexual predator who was lodging at the hotel where he works. This gives Harrison an intriguing starting point for creating his own Dark Passenger, in which he replicates his father's method by chopping the corpse into 9 halves. As soon as Dexter arrives in Manhattan, his murderous and paternal instincts take over, and he secretly works to ensure Harrison has completely hidden his traces. Despite being a murderer now, Harrison is far more plagued by victims than his father, whose first murder was recently depicted in Original Sin. Seeing these kinds of father-son distinctions is a really fascinating dynamic that supports the presence of Resurrection on its own. There's also a new rideshare serial murderer, who the media refers to as the Dark Passenger, which comically irritates Dexter. Fans of Dexter were solely captivated by the tactics and code of the show's titular protagonist in previous seasons. There are currently at least 2 more murderers in the series, and more are planned. One of the most intriguing elements of Resurrection is still the enigma behind Thurman's persona. Charlie, a murderer herself, seems to be the gatekeeper to the society of serial killers that was promoted in the trailer for Resurrection. The first 2 episodes of the sequel season are still outstanding, and the majority of the fascinating guest stars have not yet been featured. This bodes incredibly well for the remaining 8 episodes. Resurrection still allows Dexter to return to his roots despite Harrison's murderous arc and police investigation, Batista's pursuit of Dexter, and Charlie serving as the conduit to the killer society. He goes after his first serial killer, whom he refers to as the imposter, while arguing philosophically with Harry about the code. In the end, the first 2 Dexter Resurrection episodes provide the franchise with just what its fans have been longing for. They go above and beyond, laying the groundwork for what is already regarded as one of the best Dexter seasons ever.